All right, let's get started with this technique. I love this technique, this wire wrapping loop technique, because I feel it's more secure than it is just a regular loop. And so let me show you. You're gonna take about 4 inches. You're gonna take about a 4-inch wire, maybe a little less. I usually like less, but let's do 4 inches just to give you a little wiggle room. Okay, I'm gonna cut off about 4 inches. And now I'm gonna take my wire before I put my bead on. I'm gonna go about just above halfway, and I'm gonna bend it at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna put it right back, right? And then I'm going to wrap it around. Do you see that? I wrapped it around my pliers, and then I'm gonna shift my pliers over like this, and I am going to pull it around. Do you see that? Now it looks like a lady with a scarf. That's what you want. You want you want the wire to look like a lady with a scarf. Now I'm gonna take my snub nose pliers and I'm gonna hold it as far back as I can, because I want to use my round nose pliers to wrap it around. And some people wrap it around 3 times. I like a good old 2 times. I like 2 times around on both sides, right? Because sometimes on one side it's less, and so you gotta make sure that you get it wrapped around on both sides. And now I'm gonna use my cutter and I am going to cut off the majority of it, and then I'm going to kind of squish my wire back in so it's not poking out. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I think that's gorgeous. This is one of my favorite techniques when it comes to loop making. Now I'm going to put my bead on, and I am going to do the same thing but with a bead on it. And I'm going to bend it back at a 90-degree angle like so. I'm going to wrap it around my pliers, and I'm going to maneuver my pliers just slightly and then bring it around like that. Oh, like the lady with the scarf. Looking good, looking good. And now I'm going to take my wire with my round nose and I'm going to wrap it around. And I kind of got to adjust. I don't want to run into my pliers, so I got to adjust my wires. And I have a big enough gap that I'll probably do 3. So just a little bit more, because you don't really want any of your wire showing that is under the wrap. And so I'm going to cut this off. And then I'm going to take it and I am going to make sure that the piece I just cut is nicely in there. So look at that. Look at the 2, oh my goodness, a loop here and a loop there, and it's wire wrapped. Now, how do you attach it, you say? I'm so glad you asked. I am going to attach the next bead on. And this, you just gotta remember, the first one you can do all by itself. The next one, you gotta make sure that you attach it to the bead or it won't work. So I'm gonna cut another like 4 inches, and I'm going to put it to the side. Now I'm gonna take gonna go about, that much down, right? And I'm going to wrap it around my pliers, and I'm going to shift my pliers and make the lady with the scarf. But before I go further, I need to put it in my other loop. And you might need to open it just ajar, just a little bit, might open it just a bit, and then put it back. See, so I need to put this bead on before I wrap it, or there's no point. You're just gonna have single floating beads lying around. So now I'm gonna hold it the best I can while being out of the way for my round nose pliers to wrap it. So I'm going to, oh, I gotta hold better. See, it's kind of like you don't wanna squish the bead that you made, but you wanna make sure that you got a good hold on it. And I'm gonna wrap it around. Gonna wrap it around twice. And then I'm gonna cut off the excess. It's good to have a lot of wire to help wrap around. It's a little harder when the wire is smaller, especially when you're first beginning. And then I'm going to, again, bring that wire just cut and bring it in so that it's not poking out. And then I'm gonna add my next bead on. Oh, isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And now I'm going to do a 90-degree angle. I'm going to bring it around my pliers. I'm going to shift my pliers and make the lady with the scarf, just like that. And I'm going to grab it with my snub nose and then wrap it around. just like that. I feel like I'm shifting everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut that off. Oh, it just wants to go flying. I close my eyes when I cut it. I mean, I get it on there, clip it, and then I kind of close it because it just wants to fly off for some reason. Okay, so that is how you do that. I'm gonna show you one more time. I'm gonna show you one more time because it's such a cool technique and I think it's worth learning. I didn't learn it for the first like 15 years of my jewelry experience, my jewelry journey. I've been making jewelry for over 15 years. And I didn't get the concept of how to do it, but when I finally figured out what wire to use, this is perfect wire to use for this technique. This is like the perfect wire to use. It could be a little bit smaller, but it's actually a good size. When I finally learned the wire I needed and how to actually do it, I fell in love with this technique. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to go down my wire, gonna bend it at a 90-degree angle, bring it around my pliers, shift my pliers, move it so there's a lady with a scarf. Now before, oh, I almost started wrapping it. That would have been not so pretty. That would have been not great. I'm going to put it through my bead like so. And then I'm going to shut it like that. Yeah, look at this. This is great. I'm going to wrap it around twice. Try not to get on top of each other. Try to get it so they're side by side, the wrapping. It just looks nicer than getting it like, instead of like wrapping it on top of each other like this, try to get it where like that. And now I'm gonna cut off the excess as close to the wire as possible, as close to it as possible, and then bend it in. Now I'm going to put my other bead on. And see what I mean by, like this is more secure with like the other loop that you can see in the other videos, if you haven't seen them already. The other loop is just like this and it doesn't close it all the way. You like touch it, but this is like closed all the way and this will never come apart unless you like cut it yourself. And so I love the security of this technique. So again, going a 90-degree angle, wrapping around my pliers, shifting my pliers, putting it through for the lady with the scarf. And then I'm taking my pliers, my snub nose pliers. I actually really cut a lot of wire. This is way too much, but here we go. If you cut way too much wire, that's all right. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Wrapping around, wrapping around. Looking good, looking good. And then I'm going to cut it as far down as possible. And then I'm going to just, yep, squeeze it in. So that is how you do that technique. Isn't that a gorgeous, fun technique?